Now, what's it like to recreate such an iconic voice for a new generation that is just getting into it with this cartoon?
Well, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, because I'm a fan too, and I got kids that are fans, and when you grow up with something that means this much to so many people, it's not like a normal cartoon voice where you're trying to just come up with something new and crazy and funny or whatever. It's the opposite. You're trying to come up with something that is as close as possible to something that exists. So it's there's some jobs you do because it's a job and it makes money, and there's some that you do just for fun, and this is one that I do just because I love it, and it means a lot to me. So as a fan, so I'm trying very hard to make it match. So
Now, is this one of those things where you walked out of The Empire Strikes Back and automatically started doing the voice, and then it takes 30 years and all of a sudden you're doing it professionally?
A little bit like that. I mean, I was in ninth grade when the movies came out, and I must have seen them like a million times when everyone else was doing that. And like every other kid at that time, I was trying to do my best Darth Vader and my best Yoda. And when I became a professional voiceover guy and started working on Lucas projects for like video games and stuff, I would just read the script, and there were lines in there for Yoda and lines for Darth Vader, and I was just goofing around, and reading other people's lines. We all do that. All the people do voiceover work. We all read each other's lines. We all try to do each other's voices. It's kind of a way we practice. And I was doing that, and what I didn't know was that Frank Oz was off, being a director. He had become a very famous director, and he was off shooting something, and so they needed to find someone that could do his voice.
So did you come in and audition with Yoda and Darth Vader, and then they were like, "That's our Yoda," or was it just always Yoda straight up?
No, I'd done a lot of work as just minor miscellaneous Star Wars characters for games, and just in the course of goofing around and doing that voice, the people up at Lucas knew that I could do that. And when the need arose, somebody said, let's hear what he can do. And they actually had me read some of it, and they took it up north and played it for, I assume, George or somebody. And they said, yeah, let's use him.
Okay, well, no, this next one's kind of a two-part question. How excited are you to get each new script and read it and find out what Yoda's doing next? And can you tell us what Yoda is doing next in this new season, or are you guys keeping some secrets?
Well, we're definitely keeping secrets, but it's easy to keep secrets when I don't have any, because you have to, they're very security conscious about plot lines and stuff. So they either will not give us our scripts until we walk into the room, or in my case, they actually just give me the pages that have my lines on it, and I have to rely on the director, Dave, of course, to sort of help me, figure out what's going on and do, because it's a long story, but that's what I get. So as silly as it sounds, a lot of the episodes that I'm not in, I don't know what's happening in them, because they don't want me to know, because they don't want anybody who's not directly involved in that episode to know what's going on.
So you can't tell us anything that's going to happen in season 2, or what's the deal with that?
Well, I can tell you that it's like any show that progresses that's based on action, sci-fi, adventure. They're taking it further. They're taking it bigger. There are more explosions and bigger battles, and like Ahsoka's character, she's she's a young woman and she's maturing, so her character is going to mature a little bit. She's going to take on bigger challenges, and her character will change a lot as well, and that's obviously would be normal for any series. So
okay, you probably won't tell me the answer to this, but I'm hoping you do. I have it under good confirmation that Yoda is going to take Jar Jar Binks under his wing a little bit this season and kind of try to teach him to be a Jedi. Is that true, or is that completely false?
Completely false it is, yes.
You're lying to me again. I know it's true.
The truth I am telling you. Believe me, you will.
Are you really telling me the truth? Is there more Jar Jar coming up in season 2?
I don't know if there's more, but I can assure you Yoda's not taking Jar Jar under his wing, because he's not tall enough. He doesn't have enough wing.
I thought he would really mess up being a Jedi. He did a little bit of that last season, so...
Yeah, well, that's why people love Jar Jar.
We do love him, man. He got a bad rap early in the day.
It is funny how many fans now are starting to go, okay, maybe I don't.
I loved him from the get-go. I can prove that with all my Jar Jar Binks.
You were one of the people who were honest enough to...
I was like, that guy's awesome, and I walked out of the theater and everybody's complaining about it. I was like, I still think
I was the same way. I didn't get all the anger that I heard from some people, but everyone has their preferences. So.
Do you do any other voices besides Yoda, or is it just strictly Yoda on the show?
I'm also the voice of Admiral Yularen, and I'm the opening narrator on every episode that does the sort of the Empire of War, as the rebel.
I was going to say a lot of people had a problem with that because it didn't stick with the original movie, but I thought that was a really cool thing that they did with the cartoon.
That's absolutely true. A lot of people, I think, were thrown by it because everyone was, so used to the consistent opening that had been in the other Star Wars projects. It's not so much I think that people didn't like it, it's just they weren't expecting it, and it wasn't what they were assuming was going to be the first thing they saw and heard. And so I think it more was just jarring to people. And the funny part is though, I've gotten so many comments now that the series is on television that it works. It was part of a weekly series and stuff. It works beautifully. And I think it's just because it was on the big screen and it wasn't what people were expecting. That's why it threw a lot of people.
Okay, well, thanks so much for talking to me. It was awesome meeting you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the show. So I want to see more Jar Jar, but I love Yoda too. Who doesn't love Yoda?